Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. 2024 was an incredible year of reading and I'm ready to share all of it with you. I read over 30 books this year, from romances to thrillers. We had a few that were expected to be game changers and a few unexpected gems. So let's dive in. So if you're busy and you're trying to get a quick feel for what to read next, I have listed these books from Goodread reviews. I have started with the lowest reviews to the ones that rated highest on Goodreads. This isn't my ratings, but it's just to give you a quick feel of how they're rated on Goodreads. And I'm going to go through them and kind of give a quick summary and my thoughts on these books. First on the list is the Ex Hex. This one was cute. It had good vibes. It was more of a feel good. I enjoyed reading it. This is a spooky romance. It's kind of funny and quirky, and I just liked it because it was very heartwarming and it was a super quick read. So if you're just looking for something fun to read during October, this one was good for me. I liked it. And they do have the sequel, The Kiss Curse. That one is rated a little higher than this one. I didn't buy that one, but this is the book. That one has a higher rating and that one's just as cute. So next one, we have Luckiest Girl Alive. I was a little late to reading this one, but I think the message is important. It is on the heavier side. There were a few trigger warnings for this one, so read responsibly with this one. And then they do have the movie out on Netflix. Mila Kunis plays Annie, and she takes you through the whole thing. They really did a good job of adapting the screenplay to the book. It's always shorter, so the book definitely goes into a lot more details. So if you guys want to check that one out, you can read responsibly with that one. The next one is Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. This one, honestly, I kind of almost DNF'd a few times. I finally made it through. I put it in an audiobook and I finished it. It's basically a little thriller mystery. These childhood friends are looking to find out what happened with one of their friends that went missing. And so we go through that whole mystery. I just kind of lagged. I felt like there was a lot of dips that kind of lost me. So that one is Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. Next we have Mexican Gothic. This one was rated low on Goodreads, but it was actually one of my favorites. I'm biased. I'm Mexican American. Yeah, but I just really liked how they did the whole Gothic play with decay, the haunted house. There was just a lot of cool themes going on in this book, so I kind of made a few notes of what I liked. And they almost had like a theme of the yellow paper in here. I don't know if anybody caught that in my literature majors. It's really interesting. I really liked it. If you guys want to check it out, this one I really liked. Next, we have a self-help book, Dodging Energy Vampires. I usually do self-helps like in January when I'm like on my New Year goals and stuff. So this year I read Dodging Energy Vampires. And I think I read a few others, but this is the only one that I actually bought. I really liked this one. She explains how the body keeps the score. So if you're around people that stress you out or kind of drain you all the time, that's like a sign that you might need to like kind of get away and set boundaries. And it does say an empath's guide to evading relationships that drain you and restoring your health and power. So it's mainly geared towards empaths, people that usually are givers. So she kind of explains it like it's good for your health to kind of put boundaries down. So I really like this one. She does kind of get a little spiritual towards the end, so just have a heads up for that. If you guys are not ready to go into that yet with self-help, there is that in this book, but she is an MD, so if you guys like science, this mixes science with spirituality, which I appreciated. And the message overall is really good. I consider myself an empath, so lots of good quotes here. So the next one we have is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. I really liked this one. It was really cute. It's part of Reese's book club. I thought it flowed very well, and it's just kind of like rekindling an old love. And I thought it was just cute, and it's just a feel-good ending. So it is a contemporary romance, and I just like how it flows, and Tia Williams writes really well. The next one I have is Bride by Allie Hazelwood. So I was attempting to read all her books to kind of compare and see which one was my favorite. They are spicy and this one was interesting because it's like a vampire and a werewolf uniting and creating an alliance, and so that's really interesting, and it kind of gives you the Twilight vibes but extra spicy at the end. So just keep that in mind, and yeah, if you guys want to check it out, this would be a good one for Halloween because it's like spooky atmosphere. So there's Bride. Next is The Ninth House. So this one was interesting. I like the idea of dark academia, and so I was hooked at the beginning, but then I did have trouble kind of bouncing back and forth from like the grace and the real plot and what was going on. So that kind of made me lull a little bit, but overall it's a good plot. It's unique, and I liked the second one even more, which that's in here, but yeah, The Ninth House, if you guys want to get into that dark academia, this would be a good example of this type of genre. And then Malibu Rising. Malibu Rising was really interesting. It's written very well. Of course, it's Taylor Jenkins Reid, so you flow. It does have a few triggers for me, which is like generational cheating, which it always gets me in a funky mood just reading stuff like that. And so this one has some of that going on with like family history and like the new generation and just coming into age and kind of having those dynamics. So this one was Read with Jenna's book club, so that's why I picked it up. But also Taylor Jenkins Reid has a lot of books out, and I really liked Daisy Jones and the Sick. It talks about surfing and the Malibu fires and how those have been around for a while. So it's kind of crazy because we currently have the devastation going on in California. So this actually gives like a background on how those fires have happened before. So if you guys want to read this one and check it out, it would be a good one-time read. Home Before Dark. So this one actually landed in the middle of the pile for Goodreads ratings, but I actually rated it one of my favorites this year. I just liked how clean and crisp it was. It read very smooth, it flowed, it had a good plot twist at the end, it was fulfilling, it just was a good read, a good thriller. So I would highly recommend this one if you want something nice to read that'll keep you turning the page. This one definitely did that for me. Okay, drink break. Next is Love Theoretically. So this one was a lower score than Love Hypothesis, but I kind of liked this book a little more than the Love Hypothesis. This one has a little less spice, but still has a little spice in it. I just liked it because she's kind of like trying to make it through her doctorate, and she's trying to make money, and she's kind of like doing the fake dating thing to get some side money. So it's really interesting. And then also like her running into the guy is really cute. So I really like this one. I liked the girl's character a little more in this book. Yeah, if you guys want to check it out, Love Theoretically. Next one is Hellbent. So this one is a fatty. She's thick. You don't get through it in one day, but it's definitely a good read. And this one proceeds from Ninth House, so it's the sequel to Ninth House. But I liked this one because it had a little bit of humor in it and like some comedic relief. And it's a good story. I liked it. It's solid. This does take a little time, so if you guys are looking for something quick and good, I would not recommend to dive into this. But if you have a little bit of time and you want to go into a fantasy dark academia world, this one would be nice. Next we have The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I really enjoyed this one too. This one did lose me a little bit because it has a lot of characters, so you have to kind of follow, so you have to probably get your little gargoyle foils out and like move them around as the plot changes. But overall, it's good because it has good plot twists and it's satisfying. So it's that type of book where it jumps from different perspectives. So next is The Love Hypothesis. So as we're moving now are the higher ratings of books for Goodreads. The Love Hypothesis was really interesting. It was actually spicier than I thought it would be going into it because it's like academia. So, you know, she's like working on her doctorate. And I mean, I really liked these because they involved STEM, which is kind of cool. I'm working on my PhD, so I think it's kind of cool to read things that could relate, but not necessarily with me because this one is crazy. But it's funny. It's funny and it's good. It's a good read. It's spicy. It's spicy, guys. Okay, next one. So this is Emily Henry, Funny Story. I honestly think this one was my favorite one for the year. And I honestly think that it's one of my favorite from Emily Henry. I think she's putting another one out this year, so I'm excited to see what she's got. But this one was released 2024 and I read it the year it was released and it was actually one of my favorites. And I just really like how relatable she is. I know she banters a lot. I just love getting out of my own reality, and she's like a freaking librarian and like is doing really good for the library. So I just think that's like such a magical goal that I would have in like another life. Their relationship is so cute. He's like the perfect fake boyfriend and just adorable, and it just makes me all warm and fuzzy inside. So yeah, this is The Funny Story, guys, and it actually won best romance for 2024 on Goodreads, so I definitely liked it. Next one is Remarkably Bright Creatures. This one was really cute. It was in Read with Jenna's book club. I really loved it. It was really cute. It was a magical story about like a little octopus that can talk, and he's like really witty and smart, and it's kind of funny. Just beware if you're like in a reading slump. The beginning is a little difficult to get through because there's a lot of characters. Once you get the characters down, the ending flows and it's really good ending and it has a really good message. So I do highly recommend this one, just not if you're in a reading slump. Please do not pick this up if you're in a reading slump because you'll probably DNF it. This one is up in the highest one, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This one is a thick one, y'all. This one is a slow burn, let me tell you, but it'll take you for a wild ride. It'll make you feel young, it'll make you feel dark, it'll make you like have like this existential depth of life. But it is a really good story. It's a very unique story, and it does have like the theme of time traveling, which I'm a sucker for. I love time traveling books, so this kind of has a little vibe on that. And yeah, if you guys want to check it out, if you guys have time, because it is a slow burn, so don't jump into this if you do have a like reading slump going on, because you have to keep up with it. But it is really good for my dense readers out there. And then we have A Court of Wings and Ruin. Yeah, I really like this one. I feel like this one is pretty straightforward because you already kind of know what's going on and they're on the mission to get stuff. So this one was really good, and I just like the way she writes. I like how magical she makes her world, and it's not too difficult, but it's also like a good beginners for fantasy romance, and I think I loved it. So I'm excited to continue reading the series and getting through it and maybe starting her other series. She has a lot. She's got me working. But yeah, this one's really good too. It's cute. They have a lot of missions. There's a lot of like things going on, so it keeps you involved. Yeah, guys. There's my 2024 reads. Oh, so I did skip a few. I also have my Christmas reads, so if you guys want to stick around, I didn't have time to do a video because we went on a lot of trips and we had a wedding and I got sick and River got sick and there was like a whole shebang. I read my books for Christmas, so I wanted to review them. I mean, better late than never, right? These are my Christmas books. I do have a few that I didn't buy, but I will be including here. These I have stacked in order from lowest reviews to highest reviews on Goodreads, so you guys stick around if you guys want to see the best ones down below. Let's dive into it. The first one I actually don't own, but it's called Wreck the Halls, and I'll put the picture up here. So that one was the lowest rating in my list. I kind of agree. It was kind of like a little lull, and I wasn't really interested. I just kind of heard it on an audiobook because I had the audiobook through Spotify. So yeah, I wouldn't highly recommend it. The cover is really cute, but for me, it just wasn't the vibe. And then the next one is Just Like Magic. I thought this one was cute if you can get over like her bantering at the beginning, but I think that's what makes it funny because she's so like extra, and it just kind of gives you like elf vibes. And so she's wishing for her life to be better, and she gets what she asked for, and she gets a little elf guy trying to fix her life, but it has a very important lesson about that. I feel like that's the Christmas spirit. Don't forget what Christmas is about and what the holidays are about. So I kind of liked this one. I would listen to it on my audiobook when I would go for a run too, because she's so high energy. But it's also a good read to like sit down and have your book and it flows. So I would recommend this one if you're trying to like stack on some Christmas list, but I definitely have other ones that are good. So this one is next, in a Holidaze. Was kind of one of my favorites out of all of these. It is rated lower on Goodreads, but I thought it was really cute. Again, I'm a sucker for time travel tropes, so this one does have that, and I think that's what's fun because it's always like you never know what's gonna happen. So she's basically like reliving the same day over and over, and so at the end she like figures out what she needs to do for the day to stop repeating. So I thought it was really cute and it's really fun. She's young, so you kind of feel young again, like in your college days. The beginning was a little crazy because she was being a little crazy, but if you stick with it, I think it's really cute, and the love story too is really adorable. So if you guys want to read this, I highly recommend this one. I really like this one. I might read it again next Christmas, so don't forget it in Holidaze. So next is a book that I actually don't have, but I'll put the picture up here. I'm sure a lot of you guys, my girls that like to read a lot, I'm sure y'all read it. My friend Taylor, y'all should go follow her. I know she read it. It was kind of like all over Instagram and TikTok, so I read it to see what the hype was about. Next one I didn't buy. Again, I just had the audiobook, so I was like, sure, I'd love to read it because it was a little bit on the higher scores of Goodreads. And there's a lot of Christmas books out there, y'all, so be careful when you're investing time. That's why I'm here. I'll read so you don't have to. The other one I really liked is the Christmas Bookshop. Was a slow burn, but I really loved how they described all of like the small town, and it just gave me those Christmassy vibes. And I kind of at that moment was Christmas shopping, so I liked the slow burn, and I would stick it in my ear and go shopping, and then when I got home I would sit down and read. And like when I was sick, a slow burn was perfect because I didn't have anything else to do. That one was one of my favorite. If you're in a reading slump, that one is a slow burn, so stay away from it. Next we have Always in December. I think it's cute because it's kind of like a Hallmark movie, and it's got like that serendipity trope. I personally didn't stay interested as much as the other ones kept me like engaged, but overall it was a cute read. And again, I was sick, so I was just like, let's go through it, let's finish it. But if you guys like this one, let me know what you guys like about it. It's just like a cute Christmas romance in London, and it does have to deal with love and connection and serendipity and fate. So it's really cute if you want a nice heartfelt romance for Christmas with a London winter scene. So the next one is actually not a story. It's The Old Magic of Christmas. Look at this cover. Isn't it so cute? And it has a little sled. It says, "'Tis the season for witches, elves, and a legion of ghosts." It's just Yuletide traditions for the darkest day of the year. Yuletide is supposed to be, Christmas is supposed to be the darkest day of the year, which I think is pretty dope, and that's not common knowledge that I used to know. Yuletide, that's why there's the little log in the fire, because it's creating light, and we have Christmas trees with light because it's the darkest day of the year. I nerd out on stuff like that, so I actually ended up ordering this book, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it has like fun recipes that you can do. And it explains like the tradition of what they meant, right? Of course, it kind of goes back to like the English traditions and different Christian lessons and different things that have happened in history and where they come from. So I thought that was pretty dope. I might do a little series next year where we can do some of these recipes together and I can share some of the fun facts from this book. But if you guys want to check it out, it does take time to read it and like learn all the history and try the little projects that they have. You know, it's fun to do if you have kids or if you have friends that are coming over. That would be a nice little activity. The Old Magic of Christmas. If you're still with me, we're getting to the high rollers. We have Gingerbread next. This one was really cute. It's very magical and it's about a daughter and a mom, and she makes gingerbreads, but they're like magical gingerbreads, and she's trying to figure out what is going on with the family. So there's a lot of tropes of family, heritage, and mother and daughter trope, like that relationship, those dynamics, which I think is really cute because it's during Christmas time and winter time, and the fact that they make it over gingerbreads is like so adorable. So this one was definitely one of my favorites. I have another one that he wrote. It is a little darker because it's based off World War I. We'll talk about it later, but yeah, this one I really enjoyed, so I would highly recommend this one. It is a little bit of a read, but I think it flows. Like if you give it a chance, I liked it. So I would recommend for you guys to read this one. Next one is One Day in December. I think you guys have probably seen this one. It's also all over Instagram and Book Talk. This one is in Risa's book club, so I chose that one, and it was higher in the Goodreads ratings. So I chose. When I read it, I was like, oh, this is good, because she's like trying to find this guy that she like fell madly in love with, and then the drama starts. Oh man. And I don't know, it left me feeling some type of way, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. And it's like trying to navigate what love means to you, what friendship means to you, fate, and like, yeah, it's a lot for Christmas. I think it's a lot. So if you want to read it for the atmosphere, if you want to read it for a little drama during the holidays, this one would be good. Okay, so speaking of drama, we're moving on to Midwinter. I see that cover. It's so pretty. The book, I don't think it's pretty. You guys, it's a beautiful book, like in a haunting way. Like I almost cried, and I probably was a little depressed that week. So the book has like a way that they write the perspectives in their language. So when you're reading the book, it's coming out as like their language, which is cool and very creative. I love that. Their Eyes Were Watching God is also like that, which that's one of my favorite books. It's really artistic the way that she wrote the book, but it delves into like grief and loss and feelings of shame during like experiencing grief. A little too close for home with me because we lost my grandpa during COVID, and like grief comes in waves, and you know, this book is just like on top of all of that. And I was just like, I probably shouldn't have read this year, but if you guys want to check it out, y'all are into a dark book and a deep book, that this will be it. It has a high rating for a reason, y'all. It's on the top in Goodreads, but It's heavy. You guys read responsibly. This one, whoo. So moving on to the next one is the Toymakers. So look at this cover too, isn't it so cute? This one is also by Robert Dinsdale. I honestly picked these because of his covers, but I loved the books too, and they actually were on the higher ratings of Goodreads. This one is also very Christmassy because it takes place in, this one takes place in London also during the winter, and they're making toys for Christmas during World War I. And the girl basically has to find a home and joins this family of toy making, and there's like a lot of dynamics going on, and she's trying to just like get through the season, but there's also like magical twists to it. This one can get a little heavy. There are some trigger warnings. I'll probably do a deep dive in it next year, but yeah, this one is good too. It kept me flowing. This one does have a really good message of hope during adversities. If you guys like a little bit of historical feel and the London atmosphere during Christmas, this one is really nice too. Last but not least is the Holiday Cottage. So I actually hadn't seen this one on TikTok or Instagram. I saw it at Barnes & Noble's, and then I checked the ratings and it actually had higher ratings, so I got it. It is really cute. It's kind of like a modern day like Scrooge story. It follows several characters, so it jumps from perspectives, and it kind of follows, so this one follows several characters. One is like a workaholic, one is like a mama trying to like be part of her baby's family. The other one is like another person that has a legacy of their family business. So it jumps into a lot of different characters, which makes it like relatable for different people. Yeah, I think it's important, like warm, gentle message of what the holidays are for and what is truly important in life, and like just kind of taking a look at ourselves. Kind of like the Scrooge story. If you guys want to check this one out, this one can be a slow burn. I read through it because I was really engaged in like the scenery. It really does take place in Christmas, so it does kind of give you the Christmas warm vibes. This one's a nice one to come home to and sit by the fire, have a cup of chocolate, hot chocolate, and like just take your time with this one. All right guys, I hope you guys liked all of the books that I read in 2024. If you guys want to check out my 2023 reads, you guys can click on my video, and of course like and subscribe and follow if you guys want to learn more about the books that I read. Thank you for following, and I'll see you next time.